You know, in a city as fast and crowded as Jakarta is, connection we think should be easy. But somehow here I am in a random cafe by myself, working, eating by myself. And it feels like the bigger the city, the lonelier that you feel. People know you, they know your username on Instagram, your handle, they know your stories, but they don't know your story. They see your photos, but not your pain. And we all crave real relationships. But how do you build them when life moves this fast? I'm gonna give you some parts that explain why we feel disconnected. The first, the pace of urban life. It prioritizes efficiency, not intimacy. I can stay in a cafe working on my own by myself with headphones in my hand and my ears, and I'll feel alone, excluded from everyone else. And social media gives us access, but not attachments. So I'm just here eating by myself. And many of us, we wear masks, whether it is professional mask, polite mask, perfect mask, while we're silently craving to be known by people. Meaningful relationships begin with sincerity. If you're sincere, if you drop off the mask and you show up as yourself, people will feel more connected to you. It's about how we are all belonging together under the umbrella that God has given us. We're all one race, human race. It doesn't matter what color you are. And true community, friends, is not about perfection. True community is about presence. Faith is never meant to be lived solo. We serve together, we pray together, and we grow together. There are many practical ways we can have to build meaningful relationships. Number one, be intentional. Call your friends. Schedule a time where you're meeting together. Don't wait for it to just happen. And don't be like, oh, thanks for the invite. You guys didn't invite me. Small acts like checking in, sharing a meal, texting them, really impact our lives together. And it builds trust over time. Be vulnerable with each other. You know, friendships grow in depth when we are honest with each other about where our lives are. Being able to be vulnerable can be hard because, like, what if they use our vulnerabilities against us? What if we mistrust people? But, you know, vulnerability creates deepening relationships. So share your struggles, not just your highlights. And vulnerability invites empathy. And also be consistent, right? Real friendships, the friendships that we have, it's genuine. It doesn't grow overnight. It grows little by little. Today, when you show up. Tomorrow, when you show up. The next day, when they show up. It builds over time. Keep showing up, even when it's inconvenient. Commitment creates closeness. Serve together is the fourth thing I would suggest, because nothing bonds people like shared purpose. It builds friendships with eternal depth. You see, our community is important for us. But what happens when community hurts? Because you can't be vulnerable to everybody. What if people disappoint you? Isolation is not protection. It's starvation for the soul. When you isolate yourself, you become more starved for a friend. When you isolate yourself so that you don't get hurt, you become more yearning for something else. Let us consider how we may spur one another on towards love and good deeds, not giving up meeting together. And you know what? Healing often happens in communities, not outside of it. And so my call for you guys today, my call to action is, how do you build meaningful relationships? You start small, but you show up. And so this week, as you're hearing this, ask God to bring one person into your path who you can encourage or listen to, or in fact, text somebody, share this with somebody. Be the start of the connection that you have been praying for. And who knows, maybe one day you can share the testimony of how God brought you closer to people. So God bless you, and I'll see you later.